Okay, back with some modern Lantern Control. This time I played a matchup here, actually a little earlier today, that was featuring, I changed up one of my lands, took out a Glimmer Void and put a Darkslick Shores in there just to try and smooth out the mana base a little bit for the Tezzeret the Seeker, which I think is still an awesome card. But anyway, so this match is against Living End, and I know it's an interesting matchup. You know, once we nail a bridge down, it's pretty much game over, but there are some little intricacies in here. So I'll flip through this real quick so you can see what's going on. Crucible of the Worlds is in my hand. This is one of the things that I'm considering removing, just because maybe moving it to the sideboard more so than the main board. It's really in there for Tron, and I know Tron's a real bad matchup for us. But anyway, you can see I start out with the mill plan. Don't have a lantern yet, so I pull up my hand to see if he had drawn out a Living End yet, and then he begins his cycling. I knew as soon as he started cycling that this is going to be Living End. This is a nuisance card, Fulminator Mage. Big nuisance. So, but kind of sets us back because we're down to just one land in hand on the battlefield. Here's the second one, and I just start throwing out all the mill rocks, and then he drops his Living End. So here I'm thinking, okay, I got 2 bridges, my Crucible, but I only have 2 mana. So what am I going to do? Because like I said before, he's really only plays Beast Within is the big thing that Living End plays to get rid of bridges. And you can see there I thought seized my own hand just to kind of shrink it down, so I know once I throw out a bridge that really nothing is going to get by it, because I think most of his creatures are 2/2 or greater, 2/2 being the Fulminator Mage and the Simian Spirit Guide. And then boom, Mox Opal dropped that bridge down, and now he's in a world of hurt here on this upkeep where Living End comes into play. So you can see he's got quite a few creatures coming back. So milling's not awesome against Living End. I mean, it puts more creatures out there, but if you got a bridge, you really don't have anything to worry about. I don't know why at this point he didn't sack Fulminator Mage again to destroy the Spire of Industry, but we'll do what we can. So I throw out the second one, and at this point, it's pretty over. But you'll see he tries his best. I still don't have a lantern, so I still have to hit a Beast Within. But you can see I currently hit 1 in the graveyard. I think they run 2 main board, if I know right. But anyway, you'll see it'll play out here in just a minute, and it's just about dead. But some big old creatures on the battlefield. Throws another Fulminator Mage down. This time he destroys the Spire, and I just go back to shredding. So at this point, I'm trying to think of what all he can do, and there's not a whole lot he can do anyway. And I believe he just kind of gave up at this point because he knew that it was over. So that was the end of game 1. So going to game 2. Let me maximize this. Game 2 was a little unique just because I got my sideboard tech in there with the Welding Jar just to take care of the Beast Within if need be. Actually not 100% if that would work or not. But as you can see, I don't have a bridge in hand, so I'm pretty down here. I only have one way to mill right now with the bell to try and fetch it. And he brings his sideboard tech in of the Ingot Chewer, targeting my Welding Jar of all things. But hey, Pithing Needle, come on, drop it down on the Fulminator Mage just so we can stop the shenanigans with destroying my lands. And did it pause? Ooh, an unexpected error has occurred. Alright, let's hit play and see if it can design. Nope, okay. Well, needless to say, the second one did not go as well. I'd never hit that bridge, and he just finished me off with some big creatures. So anyway, game number 3. Maximize. This one started off a little bit better, just because that Lost Legacy is an awesome card against him. So really the only threats that he has that I knew about were the Ingot Chewer and Beast Within. So, and I saw already got rid of one beast within, so we're doing good already. So there's my third mana source that I need. The costless Lost Legacy, naming the Ingot Chewer. So that affords me to grab the one out of his hand and grab the other one that's in his library because he had two. This is also, I noticed, where he's got a Croson Grip. I believe that's what it's called, where it destroys. It's the split second one that destroys a target artifact or enchantment. And he's only got one copy, though, in hand. I mean, not in hand, but in his library. So I know he's really low on what he can do to try and destroy my artifacts. So he's really hurting at this point. And Moto seems to not be very cooperative today. Well, unexpected error has occurred. Okay. Well, anyway, so it ended up being he threw down a couple of creatures using the Cascade spell. Totally drawn it right. Dread Boar, something like that. Cascaded down into a living end, threw out 4 creatures on the battlefield, one of them being the new Cycler, which gives you +2/+0 every time you cycle a card, which is a real pain. I was at 20. He was able to whack in 16 of damage, and it happened to be my very next card was a bridge. Threw down a second one shortly thereafter. So he drew that Croson Grip and took out my, I believe that's the right card. I'm not 100% sure. Let me look that up because it was a unique one I hadn't seen before. So, I can't even spell right. Living End Modern. Let's go to Reliable MTG Top 8. If you don't know this website, you really should go on here. It's a lot of cool stuff. Let's see if someone here has that green artifact. No. That's an interesting build, though. Come on, internet. Yeah, Croson Grip. I was right. Hey, what do you know? So it's this green, cost 1, not 1, but a green and 2 colorless, split second, so everything stops, destroys target artifact or enchantment. So this one's a kind of a pain, but not a huge thing. He only had 1 in his library, ripped it out. So the only thing he was left with, not a whole lot that he could do, since I ended up playing 3 bridges that game, so it was pretty much done at that point. But yeah, definitely Living End is an interesting one. If you're able to lay in a bridge and then support it with your not discard, but your milling, or if you're just there and have the Lost Legacy, Surgical Extraction on the Beast Within, they're really, really going to hurt because their main game is to wipe out creature decks and then bring back all your creatures and just kind of go from there. But obviously, I don't play any creatures. The biggest creature I have is, well, the only creature I have is Padim in the sideboard, and that wasn't even played in the game. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully Moto decides to not screw the pooch anymore today. If you have any questions, let me know.